Kim. Live to be well. Live to be well with Dr. Kim, with Dr. Kim.
Good evening and welcome to Live to Be Well. I'm Dr. Kim, and let a friend know, let a neighbor know, reach out to someone on social media because this is quality broadcasting. Live to Be Well. What is Live to Be Well? Well, it's mind, body, and soul, and how we bring all that together to enhance our lives. I know a lot is going on in the world, a lot is going on Pennsylvania Avenue, at the White House, at the Congress, at the Senate, but I'm here to let you know that God is in control and He wants you to live to be well. And you say, Dr. Kim, how do we do this with so much chaos in the world? Well, you've got to put your mind on one special person, and that's Jesus. You have to connect with the higher power in your life. And my higher power is Jesus Christ. I pray, I fast, I seek God's word. And He said, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto thee. And He said, I will keep you in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. So I want to encourage you to be in perfect peace. Well, this is the month of March. And where did January and February go? It's just going. But today we celebrate women this whole entire month. And on Live to Be Well, I'm so excited because of the fact being a woman, and I am a mother. I was once a wife. As you know, my husband passed on, but it's a privilege to be a God-fearing woman, not just a woman. There's a difference, but a God-fearing woman who loves God and who honors God and worships God and who is led by God. And I pray that that is seen in my life every day. I'm blessed to be the mother of two beautiful daughters who just celebrated their birthdays. My daughter, ML6, Michael Logan, who you know, my co-host, and my youngest daughter, Logan-Nowlin, who just celebrated a birthday on this past Sunday. And get this, they are 18 years apart in 1 week to the date. Their birthdays fall a week apart, and they're able to celebrate together and they're able to enjoy one another. It's a blessing. So I was reading some of your comments about who are your heroes, who are the people that you look at in your life. And I saw people said their mothers, their wives, their teachers. There's been political activists, people who have really transformed their lives. So tonight we're going to talk about four women who have impacted our lives. ML6 and mine, my daughter being in the radio industry, Roberta Flack, and of course Miss Angie Stone, who we just lost on March 1st. I'm going to talk about Dr. Hazel Dukes, an activist, and I'm also going to talk about the great Nikki Giovanni, poet, activist, educator. So I'll bring in my co-host, ML6, Micah Logan, and my daughter, who I also really, really look at as an inspiration in my life. Hello, Micah.
Hi everyone. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good, good. Well, this is the month of March. We're celebrating and recognizing women across the world, and I know for a fact that my mother was an inspiration to you. And we'll talk about that towards the end of the broadcast. So I want to get started about how women have impacted us. You want to give us a little statement about that, how women have impacted our lives?
Well, I'll start off by saying that women are the seed carriers. We are the ones that push out, we're the ones that encourage, affirm. We push out the seed. Without woman
Okay,
would not be.
okay,
Okay? Women carry we're much more than seed pushers, to be very, very clear.
right. Hmm.
women have the capacity and the ability to do a lot more than there is to be acknowledged, which is why I think a lot of men, no disrespect to the men watching, are intimidated by women.
Mm.
A lot of times men try to diminish who women are because we have and carry babies.
Mm.
And I don't know about you, but if you have ever seen a woman go grocery shopping, come in, grab all the bags at one time,
Mm.
close all the doors, lock the door, and not drop anything, we are phenomenal. We are phenomenal. And all the things that we do and that we're able to do, which is why in a lot of areas, why I think a lot of people try to limit what we can do and limit our power.
Mm. Mm.
Now, this is not to take away. We value men. We honor men. We love our black men. We want to continue to encourage our black men.
Mm.
But also, while we're doing that, we have to make sure that we also love and honor ourselves. Oftentimes, women tend to get lost in a lot of things, and it's hard for women to step back and really do for themselves because they're constantly doing and saving everyone else, especially the black woman. The black woman has stepped in and has saved countless and countless times, which is why the 92% of us are taking a break, and not taking a break from our communities, but just taking a break from trying to help everybody else.
Yes.
What happens is when you're trying to help everyone else, those same people that you tried to help forget, and they think nothing of you.
Mm.
So the woman, and the black woman specifically, the black woman specifically is a gem to this world.
Mm-hmm.
We think of Harriet Tubman, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we think of Barbara Jordan and what she
Oh,
used
yeah.
to do. We think of Shirley Chisholm and what
Oh,
she
yeah.
used to do. Fast forward from Barbara Jordan, Shirley Chisholm, all the way to Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
The path was paved for her.
Oh, yes.
You see what I'm saying? Then you think about in between that you have Maxine Waters reclaiming her time and still going strong. So we as black women, for years and years to come, the future, Jasmine Crockett, it's so many women that we have within our communities and even within our homes that are doing, will do, and will continue to do all and everything that they can be. And
That's
they're not in the army. They're
well,
just
that's about Joy Reid. Joy Reid has made a statement for us as black women, especially black women.
black women are constantly attacked.
Yes.
We're constantly attacked in the workplace. We're attacked outside of the workplace. Often, sometimes we're attacked in the home. They say that the black woman is the most disrespected. You hear it on social media. The black woman is torn down. There are times when the black woman is praised. And I salute to every black man out there who is listening, who has praised the black woman today, who has just taken the time out of their day to just tell a black woman, I see you. I was out to dinner with my sister last week, and there was a table full of black women. And I'm seeing them. She was facing me, I was seeing them, and I just smiled so big. And I could not stop looking at these black women. I was all in their space. Mind you, I didn't know what they were talking about. But the things that I saw strength, I saw courage, I saw love, I saw joy, I saw hurt and pain, but I saw resilience and victory. I saw all these things as they were celebrating someone else. They were celebrating someone at the table's birthday. And so when they were leaving, I had to say something to them.
All right.
Hey, you all don't know me, I don't know you, but I just want to say that I see you all. And I love the fact that you all are here together celebrating. I said, it just does something to my soul. And they started smiling and laughing. And I said, I don't know whose birthday it is, but it was my birthday yesterday. And I was like, hey, shout out to the Pisces. And we just did, it was one of those things like, I see you, and you see me. And it was one of those type things. And as we were leaving, it was a table of black guys. And they were telling me happy birthday. And one of the guys was like, it's my birthday too. I was like, hey, happy birthday. So it was like a domino effect of like cheer and love and laughter within us. Mind you, there wasn't a lot of people in the restaurant, but when our voices came together to celebrate, we filled the room. It was such a beautiful moment. And these black women, I would probably never see them again. But in that moment, seeing them considering everything that we've gone through, that we'll continue to go through, for me to see a group of black women celebrating one another in that space, it did my heart good. And I did not want to walk away and not
Mm.
say anything to them. And so I am encouraging when we're out and about and we see another black woman and we see groups of black women, just say, I see you.
I see you.
Say, I see you. That's it. I see you, my sister. Complimenting each other. One thing we're gonna do is like, okay, hair, okay,
Mhm.
glasses, okay, shoes. We we have to do it. It is so important and imperative that we as women celebrate each other. Now, there's a way to correct, and I love the fact, like Sherry Shepherd on her show today, she made corrections to some of the young women on the red carpet who didn't necessarily they weren't necessarily covered. And she did it in love. And I hope that those young women received what she said and didn't get offended or attacked because she did it in love. Because here's
Yeah.
the thing, the ones before us, they've been there, they've done that. And we can gain wisdom. Just like we want them to hear us, oftentimes we do have to hear them as well. So the woman is, we're so there's so much that is fascinating about us. Although we came from a man's rib, we have our own dynamic, our own strength, and our own power. And the reality of the situation is, God, if he really wanted to, he could have made another Eve.
Oh, he could have.
He could have made another Eve. He could have used that other rib and made another Eve. But for whatever reason, Adam stuck beside her, and they had to go through what they had to go through.
Let's
Um,
do it.
are fast forwarding years later, still standing strong, still standing tall, even as egg prices go up, even as the economy is crashing, even as we are still doing everything that we can to take care of our families. And that's
Yeah.
what men do.
Yeah. And let me say, we do have a lot of brothers of other ethnic backgrounds who are married to black women,
For
and we
sure.
and we say thank you for loving us as black women and being by our side. I see you, Tony, loving on Paula there in Atlanta, Georgia. I see you. You know, and I like that. When I walk into the Fisher Building, black women will say, "I see you, Dr. Cat." I love you, I appreciate you, and I give the same kind of shout outs. So I think I look at situations where we can honor. I want to get into our first individual I want to honor tonight, and that is Nikki Giovanni. And she was born on June 7, 1943, in Knoxville, Tennessee. She died December 9th, 2024, at the age of 81. Now, before I go any further, I have to tell you this, Micah, that that I was a sophomore at Oakwood University, and I never forget. I found out because I was having classes at Alabama A&M in the speech pathology department. So I got back to campus, and Arthur Starbridge came back to get me to take me to the program that evening. And guess who the keynote speaker was? Nikki Giovanni. She walked out in a sweatshirt with Alabama A&M and jeans, and we were all in our attire. I had on my Oakwood University, Oakwood College, and she went through her whole speech, just getting to know us, taking time with us. But at the end, and she said this. She said this. They can take your house, they can lower your credit score for no reason, they can take your car, they can take everything that you built your wealth on, but they cannot take your education. You must get your education, black people, and allow yourself to grow and be renewed, whether it's a trade school program, academia program, learning something that's going to build you up as a black American, as an individual. And then she said that you will be supreme because you have something that they can't take. Because once you store it there, it's there, and you'll be able to use it. And I thought about that one day in court, and they were asking me questions as an expert witness. Well, Dr. Logan, what is bipolar? What is schizophrenia? What is narcissism? What is the DSM-5 code for this? What is this code? And I was able to bring it all back in court. I didn't have time to flip pages. I had to learn it and be able to talk about it to the court. So wherever I go, I think about what Nikki Giovanni said. So let's go on and talk about her. She has awards, won the American Book Award, the NAACP Image Award for outstanding literary work. She poetry, the NAACP Image Award for outstanding work twice. Okay. Um, she was recognized as a prominent writer and poet, and who first gained public attention in the late 1960s. There she is, beautiful, during the Black Arts Movement. Her work often focused on race, gender, and politics. And so she looked at life with the impact of talking about her experiences and what she went through and how she experienced some of these things. Um, she is best known for writing about what people have gone through, especially the social gender. Nikki Giovanni has written many best-selling books of poetry, including, and I want to encourage you to get some of her work. I have some of her work. Black Judgment, 1968. Those Who Ride the Night Winds, 1983. And Bicycles, Love Poems in 2009. This was a great woman who knew how to take spoken word and move people's lives into a new direction. And she impacted me I was 19 years old, Micah, 19. And I was so moved by her. And I was already doing public speaking, but there's a difference from public speaking and being able to speak the spoken word and know how to use the spoken word to move men and women, move a society, move a culture for change. So I am just very impressed with her, and and she has written 11 children's books. So I just wanted to say thank you, Miss Nikki Giovanni. Thank you for touching my life and moving me to be a public speaker, to use the spoken word, to write books. I'm a book author because of what you put inside of me when I was 19 and gaining my education. I was a good student, Micah, at school, but I went back that night and said, I'm going to be a better student. I'm going to take everything I had. In my junior year, Alex Haley came to Oakwood College, and I sat on the committee to welcome him. And I had a chance to sit and talk with him. And he autographed my book, Roots. And he said, know where you come from. Understand where you come from and where you're going. If you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. And I thanked him for that. You know, the opportunities we have to be able to go to a black college and be able to have these type of influences come to our schools. And I did not take it lightly. Don't get me wrong, I met Toni Morrison at Wayne State University in my storytelling class. Oh, that was powerful, you know. So what I'm saying is the knowledge base that I gained and to want to be an influencer, to be an activist for change, I believe that that started, you know, when in church, the black church, my mother and father, my grandparents. But when I met and had a chance to talk with Nikki Giovanni. All right.
I didn't know that. I just learned
I didn't tell you that story. Wow. It was so impactful. It was so impactful. Yeah. So now we're gonna go into, you know, recording artist Roberta Flack. Let's talk about Roberta Flack, Mike.
Bird of Black. If you love music, if you are, if you grew up listening to good old school, well, for some of you it wasn't old school, it was your time, but R&B classic. I'm talking about like major classics. Like before Lauryn Hill, there was Roberta Flack. Okay, with Killing Me Softly. For those who don't know, Killing Me Softly, Lauryn Hill was not the first to do it. It was Roberta Flack. Okay, Making Love. Where's the Love? The Closer I Get to You, the duet she did with by herself, and then Luther redid it with Beyonce. Tonight with Freddie Jackson. And then I don't know if you all watched the Luther documentary, but Roberta Flack was literally very instrumental in making sure we got Luther how we got Luther. She literally persuaded him to pursue a solo career.
Mm.
Like without that influence, we wouldn't have Luther. Like we would have had Luther, but like he might not have gone like solo. Like Roberta, thank you for again a black woman speaking life into that man for him to go. Like I said, we're pushers, we're encouragers. This is what we do. And so a great pushing something because she saw something in Luther when he was singing background and writing for people. Like, listen, I've heard your stuff. It's time for you to go and do it on your own. And boom, we got Luther Vandross. Roberta Flack was 88 years old when she passed away. Her birthday was February 10th. She passed away on February 24th. Um, when we lose our musical greats, although very sad, it is so amazing that they leave behind catalogs of music. And for Roberta Flack, I don't know about you, but I'm at that age where I'm turning on my playlist, my Luther Vandross playlist when I'm cleaning up the house, or I'm turning on my Freddie Jackson playlist when I'm cleaning up the house, and I'm gonna hear a Roberta Flack song, and I'm gonna jam to it. I'm putting on my Frankie Beverly and Mays playlist, and you just put on that Frankie Beverly and Mays radio. I'm telling you, if you have not done that, if you don't have Spotify or whatever, find a playlist and just let that music play. It'll take you. The music is so good. It's just so good. But Roberta Flack, she will always and forever be remembered in our hearts. Uh, One of the first to pass at the top of the year. And it was just like you open up your computer and you see Roberta Flack. Like, because sometimes you don't think, like, man, they do gotta go. At some point, they do gotta go. And she was one of those people that you just didn't think of. Like, it's Roberta Flack. Like, she gonna be here. Like, she gonna be here. Yeah. But may she rest in peace. She lived a great life. And like I said, her legacy and her music will live on, and her influence will live on forever.
Oh yes. You going into music. I remember when I took you to Oakwood to go to college, to attend college. And I know you were interested in communication. Did you ever think, I mean, the way music has influenced you? Because we played music in the house. We would listen to Temptations, we listened to James Cleveland, we listened to Uncle Derek really had you soaked inside of gospel music. But and grandpa, my father loved the R&B music. So did you ever think how music was going to impact you today and these black women who poured into you and, Luther and others, that what you do today and how you are influencing people?
I have always had a love for music. I would be in my bed at night listening to the radio all night long, waiting for my favorite song to come on, and not understanding why it only comes on between 12 and 6. Now working in radio, I do understand why. But staying up all night just to hear music. I always kept headphones with me. One of my first cassette tapes was it was a John P. Key New Life Community Choir and Johnny Gill. Those are my two first cassette tapes that I had for my own personal Walkman. And I played those cassette tapes out. And then when I got into CDs, I collected CDs and I would do all the things. And I remember you would be like, "What's all this coming to the house? What did all these CDs coming to the house?" Back then, you could get like 12 for 5 cents or something like that. It was some craziness. And I was always having the catalogs, picking out the CDs. I didn't really know that I was going to be into music and the way in which I am now. But it was such an integral part of my life. Like, there wasn't a night that went on that I didn't listen to music. And even now, I play sleep sounds as I go to sleep. Music literally is my soother. I tap out. That's how, even with sign language, I learned to music because I just connected with it.
Yes.
The easiest way for me to learn it was through music. So I don't know if I saw it at a young age. I knew how influential it was. Like you said, Uncle Derek, he took me to all the late night musicals. And I was talking to Uncle Kurt, that's my mom's other brother. And I was like, it's insane how all these years later, I've literally picked up the torch in the gospel music world. Um,
Yeah.
when people hear like when I mention certain things, they're like, "How you know about that? What you know about
Mhm.
that?" And I'm like, I soaked it up. I was a sponge of music. I was
You did.
because every time I got in my Uncle Derek's car, he was playing Aretha Franklin, or he was playing some James Cleveland, or he was playing something. It was just something. And same thing with my Uncle Derek. And then my mom was the reason why I fell in love with Luther.
Uh,
And just then being with my dad, we would drive. He would take me to school and pick me up. We would listen to Mix 92.3 or 98.7 jazz and sing songs together and have those moments together. And so I always tell people, like, although yes, I was raised in a Christian home. I was versatile. My parents were very versatile and allowing me to like literally expand my ear to good music. And
yeah.
I wasn't really into gangster rap or anything like that. I just liked R&B. If they played it on the radio, I listened to it. Um, I didn't really get even introduced to like Jay Z until I was in college, and
Oh,
and then that's when I started becoming a Jay Z fan and Nas and all of that. But growing up, I was such an R&B head. So like when I go and I listen to artists like Roberta Flack or Anita Baker, or like it's because of the influence in which I had growing up. So
mhm. And we had the spinners, the stylistics,
yeah, all,
we had enchantment, we had the Dells,
yeah.
all that good music, the Whispers, the Whispers will be here in Detroit this week. I think sometime this month. Um, I wanted to say the impact of music, even with sign language, and how that has influenced me to really listen to good music, good gospel music, not just the beat, but what are the words saying. Um, so I used to ask Dad all the time, was that a hit back in his time or in Vietnam? And when we would hear Marvin Gaye, what's going on? I say, is that a hit? And Dad would do like this, what? Woo! He would do, woo! And he said, that changed our lives over in Vietnam, okay? So every time a song came on, I said, was that a hit? He said, woo, yes. He said, that was an influencer on my life. He loved music. All right, let's go on. Let someone know, chime in with us. Let us know who's influenced you and who's impacted you. We want to know. And we are ready to share with that your influence on your life. Was it your mother, a aunt, a godmother? Was it someone, a school teacher, a college professor? And I have to say, I can't leave Oakwood College University without saying Dr. Sylvia Barnes, who definitely influenced me. Miss Logan, she was from Jamaica. Is there a problem? And I said, well, I'm just here to get an associate degree. She said, no, you're not. You're going to get a doctorate. I said, oh, I don't have that kind of time. And she would make me work, 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 work. And I'm sure Al Rogers, a lot of you remember Dr. Sylvia Barnes and how she impacted our lives. She was our English teacher. She drove us all the way to speak the King's English. All right.
Mhm.
So, all right, our next woman we want to honor is Dr. Hazel Nell Dukes. Dr. Hazel Neal Dukes, born March 17, 1932, and she passed away March 1st, 2025. She just passed away a few days ago. She was born in Montgomery, Alabama, and she passed away in New York, New York. And she was educated at Adelphi University, Alabama State University, and Nassau Community College. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She uh, she was an amazing individual. Dr. Hazel N. Dukes was president of the NAACP in New York State Conference and a member of the NAACP National Board of Directors, a member of the NAACP Executive Committee, and well as an active member of various NAACPs, board and subcommittee. Dr. Dukes was a woman of great strength and courage. Her dedication to human rights and equality was amplified by her role linking businesses, government, and social causes. All right. Dr. Dukes was an active and dynamic leader who was known for her unselfish and devoted track record for improving the quality of life in New York State. Um, Dr. Dukes was president of the Hazel N. Dukes and Associate Consulting Firm, specializing in the area of public policy, health, and diversity. Dr. Dukes was a member of the Assembly of Prayer Baptist Church, where she served as an executive assistant to the pastor and was a member of the Board of Trustees and the Adult Sunday School. Dr. Dukes definitely made an impact on our lives as an activist, as an educator, but also for civil rights. And I mean, you can just look at her and see she's a class act. I never had the privilege of meeting her, but I am so thankful for the impact that she has had on our lives. You know, women made a difference and the impact. And like Michael said, Shirley Chisholm paved the way for Dr. Dukes. You know, all this is all of domino effect, and we must receive that as we go forward. All right, Micah, let's go to Angie Stone. Oh my goodness.
Man, so Angie, hi Kim Jean. So Angie Stone, R&B soul powerhouse. We got the news. We woke up to the news Saturday morning that she was in a fatal car wreck. That it, and what's so sad about this is the sprinter got into a single car wreck, flipped over several times, and then after that, as they were trying to get out of the sprinter, as they were trying to get out, hear me, as they were trying to get out, everybody was hurt, frazzled, but they were trying to get out. The 18 wheeler came. When the 18 wheeler came, that's when it took the life of Angie Stone. Everyone else in the sprinter, you know, live, they're at the hospital. Her life, and as she was leaving, doing what she loved in Mobile, traveling through Montgomery, headed to Baltimore to continue to do what she loved. And she did a post February 4th talking about how excited she was to be doing the concert in Mobile, going to Baltimore. She talked about an upcoming tour. She was just really excited about life. As 2024 was ending, she was talking about 2025, 2026, things coming out. She had merch and products, seasonings, all of these things that she was doing. And unfortunately, her life was taken in a car accident. Now, a lot of people are saying that it was a conspiracy, this, that, and the third. I'm not going down that road with anybody because of what was going on between she and her record label and them taking her royalties and things of that nature. But Angie Stone really did not get, and we do this. We got to start honoring people and celebrating them and giving them flowers and talking about how great they are before they die. It baffles me how all of a sudden when Angie Stone appeared after she had the lap surgery to lose all the weight, she got the what is it called, gastric bypass surgery to lose all the weight. And then she had some other ailments. Everybody just talked about how she looked, talked about it, not knowing she was going through some things health-wise, adjusting to the surgery, changing her diet to vegan, just really trying to be a healthier version of herself. And instead of, you know, praising her, congratulating her, lifting her up, you saw a picture of her that didn't look and you bringing her down. But then when she passed, oh, Angie, my Angie. Like, no, we got to do better. We have to do better. Angie Stone, I'm talking about, I wish I didn't miss. Like, when you heard that beat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all of that. Brother, No More Rain.
No More, that's my song, No More Rain.
She had so many hits. And here's the thing, she too was also influential. Do you understand that there would be no D'Angelo? Like, she was the one that saw something in D'Angelo. Yes. And told D'Angelo, listen, you got something. She was trying to tell people, like, and everybody was trying to talk about, oh, she was 30, he was 19, they was grown, okay? Because when you think about it, as they got older, they was grown, okay? But she saw something in D'Angelo, and she pushed D'Angelo. And do you know, like, we wouldn't have a How Does It Feel? We wouldn't have that video. We wouldn't have it. And there were so many other artists that she influenced, that she worked with behind the scenes, in front of. Soul music, that music that literally we feel from the inside. When you hear it, you feel something in your body, and it makes you cry, it makes you feel, it makes you jam, it makes you go for it. That was Angie Stone.
Yes.
So her family is planning a very public funeral in the next coming days, weeks in Atlanta, and then they're going to have an intimate funeral for her in South Carolina, where she's from. Two children. Her son Michael, who she has with D'Angelo, celebrated his birthday literally. He had just finished celebrating his birthday hours before his mother was killed, and that was her baby. That was her big baby boy. And she has a daughter, and that's how everyone found out because her daughter put it on brother's Facebook. My mommy is gone. So we are keeping them in prayer. Another one of ours. Another one of ours. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? I love that she was in her circle. She was celebrated and she was loved. Good energy. I saw her once in concert, and I it was just whether you knew the song or not. Like I said, she just had that. She had that something
She
special,
did. She did. She did.
special. And I hope whatever is owed to her from her music company, I hope they get everything. I hope her son. I hope
Yes.
daughter. I hope those closest to her. She had a very close friend that's a journalist that has done things for TV One and so forth and so on. I hope that they fight for her legacy because she deserves. Her family deserves. Her grandchildren deserve. She deserves it. And just because she's gone, that doesn't mean again we got our music forever, forever.
Mm.
6, and she was doing what she loved. We don't know why we can't. Again, I'm not getting into any conspiracies or anything like that. What I do know there are two children that are missing their mother and trying to navigate feelings and trying to understand why their mother was the only one in that vehicle that passed away. That's what we have to pray. We got to pray for those children. They may be adults. We got to pray for those children and their close friends. Angie Stone, soul sister. A lot of you may remember when she was on R&B Divas with Selena Johnson and the girl from Brownstone and Kiki Wyatt. Monifa. It was a mess. It was a good show, but it was a mess. But Angie Stone, though, she maintained who she was. I mean, she would say what she needed to say. But yes, Kenny, she did work hard. She was a hard worker. Like she could be in a wheelchair. But she was out there singing and doing. She loved what she did. And again, if you don't hear nothing else I say, yes, I say nothing else. If you don't hear anything else I say, we have to start celebrating our
Mm.
great while they are living.
Mhm.
It don't take nothing to give flowers, even on your personal face. If you love somebody, you listening to some music and you saying, "Oh my goodness, I love this person," just say, "Hey, they may never see it, but give people their flowers. Give people their flowers, and we don't have to wait till they do the next big thing. We can celebrate them now.
Wow.
Celebrate people, and not only, and I'm not just talking about celebrities. Celebrate people in your life. Celebrate people that have just who celebrate your friends, thank your friends, celebrate your family members, celebrate people at your church. I'm telling you, this is a time where we as a people have to start celebrating, encouraging, and all of the things to each other. It is
Mm.
going to take us celebrating and honoring each other,
Yes.
women, men, whomever, we have to start celebrating each other.
Mhm. And I celebrate. I do celebrate. Thank you for that, Micah. Was that Kim who came online? That was Kim. You
Kimmy.
know, yeah,
Mhm.
Kimmy. Hi, Kimmy. And to everybody who may be listening and watching, we celebrate all of you. We love you. We appreciate you. Yes, Kimmy, she did. She worked too hard not to receive her flowers. I want to talk about someone in our family. I am proud to be a white side, and Mike is a white side. We come from our grandmother, Pauline Taylor Whiteside, and our great great grandfather, Charles Whiteside. They called him Charlie Whiteside. But on last Thursday, we lost Pauline Taylor's last living child, my aunt Mary Lillian Graham, who was 95 years old. 95, yes, there she is. And we celebrate her, we honor her tonight because she lived a good full life. She was an activist. She was a woman that cared about her family. She devoted her life to the Detroit city of Detroit, where she was employed, a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and I just there's no words. I just was I'm just so thankful that I was able to be in her presence. She was very, very classy, jazzy, a diva, well dressed woman, just full of elegance. And she was a lover of people and her family. You know, was she not, Micah?
No, she, from the oldest to the youngest, she was about family, and she had a memory. She could remember every single thing from the time she had a first memory up until she passed away. Like her mind was so sharp. She was our family vault. Any questions that we had about anybody, any of her siblings, our grandparents and great grandparents, she could run it off to you like it was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
It was yesterday. And this is why you have to be intentional when you're around your family members. When I came in August for our family reunion, my one of my sole purposes for coming was to love on her, to sit at her feet, and to really just hear her stories, look into her eyes, feel her spirit, her hands, let her see me, crack jokes. One thing we did when we got together, she was so shady. Ooh, she was shady. But sit around and we just did that. And so she will be greatly missed as the last sibling of Pauline Taylor. And I was telling my mom this last night. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. The grandchildren of Pauline Taylor, which was my great grandmother, my mom's grandmother, took care of Pauline Taylor's last child with everything they had.
Yes,
My
we
mom
did.
was her first cousins, and they loved on my Aunt Susie, and everybody stepped in to do what they could when they could. Even if they couldn't, they were calling and checking in and letting, the love was there. But salute to her daughter Lori, who has been an amazing caregiver to her mother for
Yeah.
so many years. So many years. Keith, her husband, just stepping in. Her son Ricardo and Audrey, and then her grandchildren came in, Justin and Jonathan. They came in and they came in the rear and did what needs to be done. My mom, I called my mom in the middle of the night, one night, and I was like, Aunt Susie needs you at the hospital. And for whatever reason, mommy was up. And I was just feeling away that Aunt Susie was at the hospital. And I said, I need you to go. Mommy got up in the middle of the night to go check on her aunt. It was like
3:30 in the morning.
34 in the morning, and she went over there to what was it,
In
Beaumont?
the Beaumont Hospital.
Beaumont Hospital, and it was
A
snow
blizzard. It was a snow blizzard.
outside. And she got there and she sat with my Aunt Susie, and my Aunt Susie wasn't alone. She wasn't by herself, and she felt the love. And that's what my Aunt Susie represented: family and love. You gotta let somebody know you're there. Let them know you care. She was self-aware. I think she knew that her time. Did you know, Mom, that when she passed away, that was her and Uncle Lloyd's wedding anniversary?
No. She
Karen,
passed on their wedding anniversary. No.
she passed on her and Uncle Lloyd's wedding anniversary.
Wow. The
There's
day's
something
coming.
sweet and serene even about that. And my mom and her cousins, they got her dressed, and and my mom made sure that she rolled through her house her last time with dignity and grace. And one thing about it, my Aunt Susie never left the house looking no type of way, and we weren't even going to allow her to do it in death. And that's what we did as a family. We're going to miss her. And as pictures, people are, we're going through pictures and we're finding old night. Just we're going to do what we can to make sure that we continue to keep Aunt Susie's legacy alive for those of us, because that's what she would have wanted. She would have wanted that. And this is what I'm saying. You got to love on your family. Sometimes you got to put that thing to the side and
Mhm.
see what's really important. Now, I understand some family members, you got to leave them where you left. But if it's something that can heal, I said this the other day, words can hurt, but words can also heal.
Yes.
We have to learn to really, really navigate through healing words and not being so stuck on words that hurt. Let's try to move forward toward the words that heal.
Yes. Amen. Well said. And she was 95 years old. She was
95.
a good full life and in her right mind. So thank you, Kimmy, for your prayers and condolences. My next picture that I want to share is that of my mother. This is my mother and Micah's grandmother, and Aaron's grandmother, and my sister Renee and my brother Kirk. She was a phenomenal woman. She could sew, make anything. She could make a pillowcase be like and she could sell anything. I remember getting my tuition together for Oakwood, and I was in a ceramics class, and she would get all these orders, and I would sell, and she had a catalog, and people would order while I would be away, come home, I'd make everything during the holiday. And I remember taking her in the picture in the brown Micah. I surprised her and I took her to see Nancy Wilson at the NAACP banquet.
No,
And
we
I,
all been.
yeah, I picked her up and we went, and she enjoyed it. And the other picture was when she was in church at Oakwood University Church. But she said, "Where am I going? What are you
Mhm.
doing?" I said, "Oh, we come to take you out." And she had no idea we were taking her to see Nancy Wilson. And so I thank God for my mother because she really made sure that we learned how to speak correctly. If we didn't know a word, she would say, "What, Micah? Go
Sir.
and look, go and search it, look it up." She would never, and she would sit there and she said, "What did you learn? What did you learn?"
And
And
I
I,
would like to say that's the reason why I am such a researcher. And
yes,
one thing about me, I don't necessarily when somebody sends me a post or they send me something on the internet, I actually go to look to make sure that it's real and it's
yes,
factual. I won't repost anything unless I know for sure
yes,
that it's factual. And my grandmother taught me that
yes,
because she would know the answer. And maybe sometimes she didn't. But that wasn't the point. The point was I wanted to know. So you go figure it out. You go learn, you go find it for yourself so that you can know for yourself so that if somebody asks you, you can give an educated answer or you can tell them where to find it. When I
yes.
tell you, and then she used to write everything down. She used to have
Everything down. She wrote it down.
she would have
Yes,
notes everywhere. And one thing she would do, mommy, you know this. Whenever my mom, my aunt, any one of us in our family would get before the phone and speak,
yes,
after you were done, she would tell you you did a good job. But then she would also tell you, okay, this is you used the wrong word, you used the
right.
wrong sentence. This is how you could have said it. And here's the thing: I always felt like grandma could have been a doctor. Grandma
Hmm.
definitely could have been an educator.
Hmm.
Like she was so smart.
She was so smart.
She was literally one of the smartest people I know. And I will never forget after grandma passed, mommy was going through her things and she found a folder that grandma kept literally every article that was ever written about my mom, pictures about my mom. And I remember you just sat and you had tears coming out of your eyes
I
because
did. I couldn't believe it.
you could not believe it. Because my grandmother had a very different way of showing that she loved you.
I know.
Back then the older women were a little bit harder. They saw different things, they had to go through different things, and they had to raise their kids and they had to get them to college and they wanted them to be great and better than the lives that they had. And I was a different way with my grandma. My relationship with my grandmother was
Oh
different than
yes.
my relationship.
Oh
I
yes.
made my grandmother tell me I love you. I would not, she couldn't get off the phone without telling me I love
Right.
you.
Right.
But when my mom saw that folder, it did something, and
Right.
it made her realize like she saw me.
Right. She followed my whole career. She tracked me everything I did.
Every single thing.
Statements, everything.
She was so happy and
Yes, she was.
proud of her daughter.
Yes.
She was
Yes.
proud of her daughter. And so, and even in death, I remember she said to me, look at you. We almost gave you away, but look at you being here
I know it. I know it. It spoiled you. She spoiled
to take care of me. So we have some amazing women in our family, and grandma was definitely one of them.
that. And go back to the picture. People always ask me, why do I wear gloves? I wear gloves everywhere I go. I have on gloves. My grandmother, my mother, she said a lady is not a lady without her hat, her gloves. My mother always had her gloves. And so that was passed down to me. Grandma Taylor had her gloves, and my mother. So now you know why I have gloves on. Every time you see me, I have on gloves, matching gloves. And my mother passed that on to me and left me some beautiful gloves. I have beautiful gloves that my mother left to me and my grandmother, and Lucille shaved and beautiful gloves. So I just want to say tonight, it wasn't a broadcast of a lot of, agitation and lowering up people's emotions. We just wanted to celebrate these women and recognize women as we recognize each of you. And then when we come back at the end of the month, we have a very special broadcast that we want to share with you. So, in closing, Micah, what would you like to say? And then we'll sign off.
To Kimmy Jean, to Carmen Strong, thank you for tuning in and commenting. Yes, the gloves. And fact check because people do love to lie. I celebrate, I don't know you all personally, but I thank you for joining in and I celebrate you and your accomplishments and whatever Carmen Strong, whatever Kimmy Jean that you are working on in your life right now, whatever dreams and aspirations that you have for this year, don't be discouraged. Push through, get to it, stand 10 toes down. Don't let anybody disrespect you and remind yourselves every day that you are beautiful. You are amazing. You are loved. And more than anything, you are enough. Listening audience, you are enough.
I appreciate that because truly, and I say this to my children, and I have two African American daughters. You have nothing to prove but prove yourself. You are welcome, Carmen and Kimmy Jean. Thank you. And thank you for loving on me. These are women that love on me, and we support one another. And I'm praying for you, Kimmy Jean and Carmen, and the things that you're doing. Let me say this in closing. You are as great as you believe that you are. You must pour into yourself what God has given you to understand about yourself. But I want to tell you this: search God's holy word, and it will strengthen you to become the woman that God has created you to be. Increase your prayer life time with God. Find that quiet moment every morning, at night, in the afternoon, so that you can hear God's voice and what God needs you to do, and let's celebrate one another. Let's pray for each other. So I'm going to challenge tomorrow that I'm going to put on my Facebook page that I'm going to say to you, Carmen, I see you. I see you, Kimmy Jean. I'm going to tag you. I see you. And we're going to take this beyond. We're going to hashtag. We're going to say, I see you. All right. And we're going to make sure that people across the globe say, what is this? And out of my daughter's mouth, Micah, I see you. So tonight, Micah and I, we see you and we love you. And Micah, Logan, I see you. I see you.
Before we get off, I want to make sure that we honor and salute Albert Rogers' mom, Teresa Rogers.
Yes, Teresa Rogers.
Amazing mother, a pillar in the community, especially in the Ypsilanti area. Uh, just I watched the funeral and what she did and how she poured into young people.
Yes.
Pathfinders or not, what Teresa Rogers was to not only her family but to her community
Oh,
will
yes.
really and forever have a lasting impact for generations to come. So, Mr. Rogers, even though you're behind the scene, I want to make sure that we honor your mom in this moment that she deserves to be honored. We saw her. We saw
Yes. We saw her.
ever be seen and loved in our hearts.
Oh,
And
yes.
so as we go out, and as we always say,
Yes.
ready, mom? One,
Yes.
2, 3. Live.
Live to be well. God bless you and good night.